Hello, I'm Elena Scott, and welcome to Tire Business NewsPoint, your video source for exclusive tire industry news. Tire Business reporter Will Schertz recently spoke with Automotive Training Institute's Matt Winslow about tips for servicing brakes as well as the pros and cons of ceramic and semi-metallic brake pads.
Matt, at one point during your presentation you mentioned that technicians usually are pretty good about changing brake pads, but not a lot of them actually understand about what actually goes into the braking system. How is it that having that knowledge can make them a better technician?
Well, the problem you have with changing brakes is if you don't know how to service a brake system properly, you end up with recurring pulsation and noise, and that creates customer comebacks and complaints. So by having a better understanding of how the brake system works, you're going to make more money and enjoy a happier customer.
What are some of the most common issues you see with technicians as far as trying to make repairs on brakes that actually come back to haunt them because they make the situation worse?
Okay, great question. Well, the first problem that you have with brakes is that the sliding mechanism in the calipers, which is that kind of piece of metal with a nice chromium finish that goes through the seals, that corrodes over time, particularly up here in the northeast part of the United States. You typically need to replace that thing, not clean it up with a wire grinder. And a lot of times those seals need to be replaced. Another thing you want to do is you want to make sure you lubricate that with the proper lube. And petroleum-based lubes, not a good idea. You need to use something like Silglide. On the rear brakes, you need to make sure your self-adjuster turns freely. If it doesn't, you don't need to grind it, you need to replace it. So make sure you order some brake hardware with that. And the most important thing you can do to prevent customer comebacks is you can make sure that the surface area between the back of the rotor and the rotor hat is clean, because if that rotor's on a little bit cocked and it creates a run out, you're going to get that recurring pulsation and vibration.
Okay, great. One last question for you. There's been a lot of debate in the industry about what's better, semi-metallic or ceramic brake pads. Is there really a right answer to that question?
Yeah, that's a great question. Here's the good news. The ceramic brake pads are going to provide quieter operation, and they're going to produce gray dust instead of black, so your customers will like them. However, they're not designed for heavy-duty extended braking use. If you're doing any kind of commercial work, fleet vehicles, delivery vehicles, police cars, you're going to find the ceramic pads will probably crack and not be able to stop properly. So that's where semi-metallic is probably a better choice. Now the downside to semi-metallic is it creates black dust, and it also tends to be noisier, but your heavy-duty customers will appreciate that choice.
For Tire Business NewsPoint, I'm Elena Scott, and be sure to catch another exclusive report December 3rd.